This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Hello 313, hello Michigan, and welcome to this week's show, Travel Basketball with Gus Weaver on the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. And if you're outside the great state of Michigan, hello to you as well, and welcome aboard. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 5 that you're tuned into. For the first time listeners, I'm your host, Gus Weaver. What we do on this program is we talk travel basketball. Primarily the programs here in the state of Michigan. We do venture out Indiana, Ohio, and we'll talk about almost anything basketball, but it is focused on a Michigan-based program. Why do we do this? We do this show to get the word out on certain programs, certain kids that aren't in the limelight, because if you're in the AAU/travel basketball world, it is a small circle. And a lot of kids are favorites of some of the social sites, some of the recruiting sites, some of the rankings. And, there's plenty of kids that don't get a fair shake because their name isn't out there, when there's just that a lot of these kids are just as good, just as talented, working just as hard. And they deserve a shout out too. They deserve some exposure, as does some of these programs, some of the new up and coming programs that haven't been around for years. We like to shout those guys out. We like to go check them out. Case in point, on this show, the tournament that we're going to preview, it's a low level in terms of competition, but there's also, you'll find diamonds in the rough in all of these tournaments. You will find a good team, but traditionally, some of these tournament companies, some of these tournament hosts, you're either a low level or a high level competition. So I think we got a very fun show in store for you today. One thing that we do like to do is bring a special guest when we're able to do that for you guys. But a couple of things that we always stick to is we always look back at the tournament that we highlighted on last week's program. We always look forward to a tournament of choice, for us to cover this coming weekend. And with it being playoff time, specifically NBA Finals time, we've been touching on some NBA the last few weeks. And then we also have a shout out portion of the show in which, I've been asking you guys since we've been doing this. Like I said, this is episode 5, the 5th week. Send me anything worthy of a shout out, whether it's a hot program, a hot player, tournaments coming up, tryouts coming up, travel opportunities. Send it to me. And you can follow me. I'm sure you guys already do. Gus Weaver on Facebook. 313 Life brand on Twitter and on Instagram. So follow me, send me those specific details on who needs to get a shout out, who deserves a shout out, who's doing the work behind the scenes, and I'll make sure to cover those guys on this program. First things first, we like to take a look back at one tournament that we mentioned last week was the 2018 Gym Rats Summer Classic Tournament, and that's held in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Teams from all over the Midwest come to these Gym Rat tournaments. This one specifically, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, we're all represented quite well in this tournament. Once again, we told you guys last week that this was a big tournament. It was ranging from 3rd grade all the way through 10th and 11th grade combined division. So we'll jump right into it. As we saw the 3rd graders, we always start off with the young guys, because they typically have low scores, typically have people that, kids that nobody has ever heard of, which is a good thing. That's why I like to mention some of these programs so I can learn myself who's bringing what to the table. So what we saw in that 3rd grade division was Dream Chasers program in the final take out Team Focus, a very good Team Focus squad. Final score in that one was 38-25. Neither one of these teams are from the state of Michigan. They did have one team from Michigan in this 3rd grade group, and that was 03. That's the team name. They went 2-0 in bracket play. However, one of those games was a forfeit due to the host team, which I couldn't get that. Gym Rats had a a forfeiture at the third grade level. And then so in bracket play, 03 for Michigan, once again they went 2-0 in pool play. They got to bracket play. First game got bounced out, and Dream Chasers eventually went on to win that thing. From what I hear, I didn't see this game, but from what I hear, Dream Chasers have quite a backcourt down there for this squad, and a lot of times, like I've been telling you guys, at the third, fourth grade levels, if you got a good backcourt, you got a good chance at winning. So congratulations to Dream Chasers, third grade level. Now, let's look at fifth grade. Another team not from the state of Michigan, Hidden Gems, won the championship in blowout fashion over Romeoville. Final score in that one was 47-29. Dream Chasers in this one actually did have a Final Four appearance, but they got bounced. Hidden Gems, once again, Hidden Gems come through for the fourth grade hardware at the 2018 Gym Rats Summer Classic. Not enough fifth grade or sixth grade teams in this tournament for them to stand independently. So when that happens, this happened in the tournament we covered last week, they'll combine a fifth and sixth grade level. It sucks if you're a fifth grade team. If you're one of those fifth grade teams is not highly competitive yet, you usually go to these things and get your teeth kicked in pretty good when they combine these fifth and sixth grade divisions. So we'll take a look at that now because that was the case at this tournament. And we saw Indiana Elite win this whole thing over the NEO Warriors. Final score 35-18. NEO Warriors were very impressive up until this championship game. Some good showings by those guys. Indiana Elite almost doubled them up in this one. I told you that final 35-18, 17-point victory. A tough division to play in. This fifth and sixth grade combined. Teams from Chicago, Indianapolis, Ohio, Michigan, all in this one group. Once again, the lone Michigan representative, 03, they did make it to the Final Four but got blew out. And I know, I'm hoping that I read this score incorrectly. The score I got was 03 gets blown out by the NEO Warriors 31-4. Those NEO Warriors went on to advance to the championship, but then they in turn got blew out by Indiana Elite. Congratulations, Indiana Elite in the fifth and sixth grade division. This next one we're going to talk about is one of the stranger brackets you'll ever see. One of the stranger brackets that I've ever seen. A lot goes into this, so if you guys can stick with me for a minute, I'll try to run this through you as black and white as I can, so to speak. Cut and dry. Here we go. Seventh grade. Championship game. Gym Rats against TNBA West. Final score 60-46. Gym Rats. First things first, congratulations. The Gym Rats really got pushed by a triple threat in the Final Four matchup, which was way closer than the championship game. So the Gym Rats, to get to the championship game, they had to face team triple threat. That final score in that one was 47-40. Now, these same two teams had to play the day before in pool play. They come from the same pool. Gym Rats, once again, narrowly escaped these guys, 59-53. Now, not only did Gym Rats and TNBA meet in the championship, but they come from the same pool as well. So in this pool, you had 4 teams from the same pool make it to the Final Four. Now, it's only 7 teams in this division. In the other pool, they had 2 teams go 2-0 first day. That's Ohio Varsity and Ohio Magic. So Pool B, you got 2 teams looking good going in the bracket play, sitting at 2-0. They both get bounced. First game in bracket play. No team from Pool B makes the Final Four. Gym Rats, quite a showing when you come from the strongest pool and you advance and you win. Congratulations to the Gym Rats. Once again, 60-46 over Team TNBA West, 7th grade division. That was quite a division. I've never seen that where you got 7 teams, 4 of them in Pool A, 3 teams in Pool B, and the Final Four consists of all 4 Pool A teams. A little bit confusing if you ain't looking at it, but if you follow basketball and you've been at these tournaments, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's look at the 8th graders. Indiana East, 45 over the Gym Rats, 44 in the championship game that was probably along with one other game, that probably the most tightly contested in terms of the actual championship game, the most competitive. Indiana East took a 7-point loss the day before in pool play. So it's always good to see these programs bounce back from a pool play loss and end up winning the championship. Congratulations to Indiana East knocking out Gym Rats 45-44 in the 8th grade division. In the 9th grade division, we got to start talking about this team that I've been hearing about, and I'm so happy that they were in this tournament that we chose to cover. Autopilots Elite 57, Character Skills Basketball 36. That's your final score, 57-36. Autopilots Elite. This 21-point margin was the largest of any championship game in this tournament, and for all intents and purposes, the Autopilots' toughest game was against the Gym Rats in the Final Four, where they won 62-57. But other than that, they kind of ran through the field. This isn't the first time I've seen them run through a field. However, the last time I saw it was in a tournament that we didn't cover that weekend. So I got my eyes now on the Autopilots Elite team at the 9th grade level. It seems that they're a force to be reckoned with. Let's look at 10th and 11th. Once again, they combined these just as they did the 5th and 6th grade. Anytime you don't have enough teams, you get the 2 age groups or 2 grade levels combined. So this is the 10th and 11th grade combination, which we saw an all Gym Rat final. So, Gym Rats is their tournament, and these 10th and 11th grade guys showed out. And, it's funny how there's probably 8 to 10 teams in this division, and the 2019 Gym Rats made it, and the 2020 Gym Rats made it. Those are freshmen and sophomores, and the sophomores, Team 2020, win 88-86. And those are sophomores and juniors. I'm sorry, those are sophomores and juniors, not freshmen. So the sophomores beat the juniors in the Gym Rats tournament. It was a great up and down game. You can tell that by the score. Anytime you get a score that's 88-86, that's a tight game, but it's a fun to watch game, not like a defensive battle. So that puts a wrap on the 2018 Gym Rats Summer Classic held in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fun tournament, a lot of teams down there. And if you can win that one, you've got a big notch in your belt, because that's a major tournament. Let's look ahead to a few different tournaments splattered around the state of Michigan for this weekend coming up. Because there's not a real heavy big tournament. There was supposed to be a big qualifying tournament, but from what I'm hearing, not very many teams will be there. So we're going to just kind of poke and chase. I want to keep my eye on, I'm just going to mention a few teams from each grade that I think we'll take a look at this weekend. First off, the 3rd grade Detroit Bulldogs and the 3rd grade Mayhem Basketball Club. Both of these guys are in the tournament this weekend, and we'll see if these two can make it to the championship game. Amongst them, Dream Chasers has a 3rd grade team in here. 03, who we just spoke about, who travel. The Huskies 3rd grade team. I'm really keeping my eyes on Detroit Bulldogs to win this one. Let's look at a 4th grade bracket elsewhere. You got Team Hype, Michigan Drive, Michigan Rain, and Rim Rockers. A quick 4-team 4th grade tournament. I'm looking for Hype to win this one over Michigan Drive. Let's look at a 5th grade bracket somewhere. Jackson Jets. Now this tournament I believe is being held in Saline. You got the Jackson Jets, the Michigan Jayhawks, Team 03, who we just spoke about, Oakland Elite, Quest, and the Foundation. I got my eye on Quest because we've talked about Quest. We mentioned Quest, and we congratulated Quest when they won the Moneyball tournament about a month ago in Lansing. That's a big tournament to win. We mentioned Quest, who just lost the championship battle here recently to the 313 Hot Boys in Saline. This time, what I'm looking for is the Michigan Jayhawks and Team Quest to end up in the 5th grade championship game. Michigan Jayhawks got a couple of pretty good kids. One kid in particular, I saw on his Instagram, he said in last week's tournament that he had something crazy like 32 blocks in one tournament. Now, usually a tournament, you're getting 4-5 games max. Even if you got 6 games out of it, which I highly doubt, 32 blocks is ridiculous for, that amount of games hit. His name is Alex Perez. So keep an eye on 5th grader Alex Perez and his Michigan Jayhawks team going up against Quest this weekend. I'm pretty sure they'll end up in the championship. If not, that means one of these other teams stood up. Let's look at the 6th grade division. You're looking at a Flint affiliation team and a Saginaw Gators team is what I'm hoping to get out of this weekend, matching up in the championship game. I believe that one is in Port Huron. At the 7th grade level, not a whole lot going on across the state of Michigan, but I am hoping to find Michigan Elite and another Flint affiliation team. I believe this tournament is also in Port Huron. Those two might eventually end up in the championship, and I'll pick FA, Flint affiliation, in the 6th grade and 7th grade division to win both of those. 8th grade division, I'm looking at Oakland Elite. Very excited to see what Oakland Elite can do. I'm pretty sure they'll get matched up with the Saginaw Gators at some point. I believe this one is in Port Huron as well. Oakland Elite always bring quality to the table. Saginaw Gators, a program on the rise. They've been around for a minute now. I'm really looking forward to these two guys matching up in the championship game. At the 9th grade level, I'm looking at Team Chelsea. I believe this tournament is in Chelsea, so they'll have a home crowd there. And I'm hoping to see them and the Great Lakes Warriors 9th grade team get matched up and go for the trophy there. Two quality programs. Chelsea, like I said, being the host team, should be like a home game for them. And Great Lakes Warriors, as you all know, they travel well. They'll be there with the fan gear, the nice uniform, so that one should be fun to watch. On the 10th grade level, I'm looking for Team Attack and Oakland Elite to match up in a tournament on the east side of the state. Team Attack, they always have a lot of size, a lot of skill, borderline in terms of, legalities of their athletes, but I'm looking for them to probably win this one if they get matched up with Oakland Elite. Other teams in that tournament at the 10th grade level are the Midwest Braves and the Trackside Scrappers. In the 11th grade, Howell Hoops. I'm not sure if you guys know anything about Howell Hoops, but Howell always has a quality program. We're going to look at this one tournament between Howell, Icon Elite, Michigan Illegals, Oakland Elite, and Toledo Elite, their Showtime team, 17 and under. We just took a look at Icon Elite, I believe, last weekend in Grand Rapids. We saw them at a Gus Macker. Not very impressive. Michigan Eagles, I'm not sure what they're going to bring to the table. Oakland Elite, you know they're coming with some ballers. You know they're coming with proper coaching, proper training. For this one, I'm gonna look for Toledo Elite over Howell Hoops in the championship, that 11th grade division. As advertised, we like to bring you a special guest once a week on these programs, and today's special guest is a personal friend of mine. He's a guy with AAU experience back in the day. Let me introduce him. As promised, my special guest, Mr. Craig Erquhart. Like I said, he's got former AAU experience back in the day. Michigan native, now doing his thing in California, on the music tip, and his great music. Craig Erquhart, thank you for being on the program.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Really my pleasure. Anytime me and you get to talk, it's always a good thing. Me and Craig go way back. First things first, Craig, I thank you for coming on a program that's, it's something that's not really being done anywhere, especially around here in Michigan, a program that's strictly dedicated to travel basketball and the youth. And some of these programs has been around forever, and some of them that nobody knows about. So to get right into it, can you briefly speak on, your basketball past, your AAU experience, your college experience?
Coming up, mid 90s, obviously that's been a while ago, but I'm pretty sure that the circuit and how things are ran are pretty much the same, if not over-exaggerated at this point. But I just know that coming up being good and not getting the recognition that we would like to get, AAU was the option. And then sometimes, depending on the team you played on AAU, that still wasn't an option because you got people that had, so-called names or so-called better than other players that are really not, taking some of these positions away from some of the guys that can. But, at times, playing in the AAU circuit it was tough, and you just got to figure out ways to power through, but it's going to always be a system catered towards names, not, names that have ability instead of people that have great ability without a name. So it's just one of those things. Even when I got to college, I was, considerably, low ranking when I got into junior college, and then I came one of the top 50 in the country. And I went to Eastern Michigan, and even when I did that, it was still weird because I would play up against guys that had these huge names that I would see in high school and AAU. And I would play up against these guys, and I'd be like, man, my thoughts still remain the same on these people as basketball players. They weren't as good as me. They just had better names, and people saw them first. That's what I used to say back in the day. I said, oh, they saw you first.
Yeah, that's funny because you see a lot of that still today in terms of once your name is known. It's like you're the guy that everybody wants. They ain't really looking at the guy that's a couple, notches below you, or like you said, that's sometimes on the same level as you, and you just won't even give a kid a fair shot. We see it all the time. So unfortunately, that's something bad about the AAU experience, travel basketball, because there's always, three sides to a story, and you hear it, from the NBA guys, you hear it from the college guys, you hear it from the parents' side, the coach's side, the director's side. Everybody's got good, everybody's got bad to tell. And let's speak about, did it help prepare you at all playing against AAU level competition? Did it help you at all at the next level, your college years?
Yes. Yes, it did. Because when you play AAU and travel, you get to see, say for example, when I was growing up, it was, city basketball, playing in there, it's good, playing down in the city and stuff like that. But when you start playing travel basketball, you get different looks. Like so many different looks. You might see a guy that's 6'7" that played a point, or you might see a dude that's 6'5" that actually is strong like a center, and like a lot of different ways. Like his Florida ball was different than Michigan ball, and the way they played in Chicago was different than they played in New York. It's just so many different looks to basketball with AAU, and then when you're playing college basketball, it actually helps prepare you because everybody on that roster, at least eight of those guys on that roster, everywhere you go is an all-state player or something good in the state. You know what I mean? So once you get to certain levels, man, everybody's good. It's just about your number being called on them. But you will most definitely benefit from traveling with AAU, most definitely. I mean, in my opinion, some people may not think that because they might not have had a good experience. Fortunately, I played on a great team, and we very seldom did we lose, and so it actually worked to my benefit.
That's a good thing, man. You touch on so many key points. It's good to hear from from another voice, somebody that's actually been there, done that. You've seen it from the outside looking in. I see a lot of your posts all the time, and you rocking the Moneyball apparel. Like they didn't do, man. Moneyball has grown so big. We were just in the Moneyball tournament about a month ago, and it's
good. My man Des.
Man, Desmond's doing his thing. Actually, our 313 Hot Boys, we got a set of Moneyball uniforms, and it's by far like one of the dopest uniforms around this area, and it's just a good thing.
Des played on the AAU team, and sometimes when we would play. And we would be leaving the next day for the airport or something like that. He'd come and he'd stay at my house for the weekend, and then we leave.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's fun. Matter of fact, when Des came to California, after I had the heart transplant surgery, man, brother came over there yelling up the street, royalty.
Hey, man, that's crazy. Folks, hey, I'm happy you brought that up, the heart transplant. In a nutshell, because you've been you're a man that's been blessed with a lot, and not just basketball ability, but the the vocals ability, the ability to sing, the ability to hold a crowd, to do a whole show by yourself. Can you talk about just briefly, the heart transplant and what you had to go through and how hard it was to fight to bounce back to where you are right now?
Yeah, it's most definitely one of the hardest things I've, done in my life, and it's also one of the hardest things I've had to watch my family members and friends endure seeing somebody go through in my life. And it's just one of those things where if you have a cloud of doubt in your head, you got to learn how to box it out, man. I practice a lot of breathing techniques to keep energy good and try to keep negative things away, and it's actually carried over to how I am now. It's really, you have to want, like it's like in life, you got to want to be great, you got to want to live. If you're in a situation where things aren't looking too good, you got to go on. If they say it's a 50% chance, you got to go on the good side of 50 and stay on that side. You know what I mean? Mentally.
Right.
So with me, it was a hell of a mental exercise. That staying in a good space, knowing that God has a plan, and no matter what man says, you just have to stay in that space, stay positive, and really just get like all negativity out of your mind. And it took a minute. It took about 2 or 3 weeks in the hospital for me to develop that way. But once I started getting that negative tension gone, man, it was truly amazing. Truly amazing.
That's a good thing, man. You're an inspiration to so many people, like not just back here at home in Michigan, but all the love you get. Your story really touches people because, you're a great person, man. You got many people that love you, and it's just a blessing that we all are still here, able to talk basketball like we're doing right now.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate that too, brother. I'm always take what our phrases from back in the day when you was like, I am me.
That's it.
I'm rolling with the I am me forever, bro.
I love it. Hey, man, look, speaking about I am me, what is LBJ going to do?
You know what? I think I feel bad. I'm going to say I feel bad for him, but I don't, because these guys are millionaires and they all right. But I do I feel bad for him, in a sports sense, because, I played on a team at one time. My first year, we weren't really good, man, and I felt like I was giving my all, and at times I felt like my team wasn't there with me, you know what I mean? And they might have been there, but in my mind they weren't. But just with LeBron, man, he probably feel like he on the island by himself. He's working hard, and those guys aren't giving him nothing. So to make a long story short, I think he's leaving. I hope they don't get swept because I don't want to see him be swept. But if they do get swept, he's out of there. He's most definitely out of there. Last year, Cleveland would see Bronny James. Bronny James is gone.
I'm happy you spoke on that because I wanted to ask you. I think we all clear that they're going to lose this series, and if they lose this series, so goes LeBron James. So where is he headed next?
If he's going to go in a major media market, he's going to come to LA. But if he's going to go somewhere where he's going to add like another 3 years to his playing career, he'll probably go down south, either like the Spurs or the Rockets or something weird like that. I don't see him going to Philly at all. But I think if he plays, he should get a different face in his game and just come out with, just so he can run a little bit more and stuff like that. But I see LeBron James. The NBA won't get the best of LeBron James. He's too much of a businessman for that. I see him doing 2 goals top. And gracefully bowing out, not caring about who's greatest or how many rings he got and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, he's gonna be one of the highest paid athletes of our time, and that's really what he's trying to do. Trying to create wealth.
Right.
So he's gonna be all right.
Well, yeah, of course he's gonna be all right. I'd like to see him go to New Orleans, man. Like just for the heck of it.
Ooh.
See what happens.
We're down there with AD?
Yeah, man. AD is one of my favorite guys. He can do it all. He can do it all, man.
He's interesting, too.
Yes, he is.
AD is very interesting.
Oh, man.
Interesting guy, man.
Yeah, we got a few of those guys in the league like that. It's just like, you watch them and can't believe what they're doing. KD is one of them guys, if you ask me.
Yeah, man. Like, back when we were playing, we were 6'10", 6'11", bringing the ball up, doing that. They were the coaches would have got mad, like, hey, get under the rim, man.
Yep.
You soft. You out there shooting something. You soft.
Yep. You don't even dribble when you get the rebound. Like,
right, exactly.
Craig, man, it's been a pleasure chopping up with you. I thank you once again for giving the listeners a little bit of just everything that you think and everything that you see, everything that you've been through. So before I let you go, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna send you your very own 313 Life shirt in the mail for doing this for me.
You already know. I'm rolling with 313 Life.
That's what's up, man. Once again, dude, I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you too, brother. You have a great day.
You too. Hey, once again, that was Craig Erquhart doing his music thing, and we really appreciate him coming on with us. Craig has quite the story to tell, and you can follow him on, let's say, Twitter. I know it's SEEJAI 3000. Please go follow him. Check out his music. Facebook, Instagram, he's all over. Please go follow Craig Erquhart on Twitter at CJ3000. That'll bring us to the shout out portion of our weekly show. First shout out goes to Grindhouse BSD. They're competing in Mount Pleasant at the U.S. Amateur Tournament this weekend. A personal friend of mine running that organization, so I wish you guys the best of luck. Second shout out goes to the 2024 Hot Boys, the 313 Hot Boys, that is. We've been talking a lot about them because they've been winning a lot of games. And I am the director of that program, but they've been winning a lot of games. So right now, their shout out is back-to-back Gus Macker champs. You showed me a program that's doing that, not only winning on the hardwood, but also sending these guys outdoors, blacktop, half-court atmosphere, and they did it back-to-back in Big Rapids and Grand Rapids. They're headed to Flint this weekend, hostile territory. I wish you guys the best of luck, 2024 Hot Boys. My guy Zeke Harris, this is our third shout out. Zeke Harris out of the Cleveland area. Those guys are offering daily training session for kids and teenagers starting at 12 noon. School is out down there. Please contact Zeke through Facebook. Zeke Harris is his name. If you can't find him on Facebook, drop me a message. I'll put you in touch with Zeke. But Zeke is all about the community. He's all about the youth. He's all about them guys doing good things. So please check out his daily training session for kids and teens at a very low price, starting at 12 noon each and every day in the Cleveland area. And I want to wish my man, this is the fourth shout out, I want to wish my man Lamar Eccles safe travels to Cincinnati this weekend for the big Coast to Coast prep camp. He's a hot boy on the 2025 team, missing in action from us this weekend, but it's for a good reason. We wish you the best of luck. Lamar, keep up the good work. Hey guys, that wraps up another episode. This is episode number 5. It's in the books. I really enjoy talking about this with you. Thank you for tuning in on Detroit Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gus Weaver.